This tale is a real tale based totally on the lifestyles of France's rich businessman Philip, who became paralyzed because of an coincidence, and his caretaker Abdul, who's proven as Dre's inside the story. This tale teaches us that each trouble may be made easy with true friendship and high-quality thinking. Irrespective of how plenty cash we have, no person can update a real pal due to the fact friendship has no charge. Dre's turned into using at a very high pace on a cold nighttime in Paris. Philip changed into with him, who became a girl named quadriplegia. He had a disease due to which he became paralyzed and he couldn't move his whole frame under his neck. Driss was using the auto on the street even as speak me to the air, whilst the police start chasing him. On seeing the police, Driss bets Philippe that he'll avert the police. The policemen surround their automobile and trap Driss, however Driss tells them that Philippe isn't always well, and because of the emergency he became riding at an excessive pace to take him to the sanatorium. On listening to this, Philip begins pretending to be sick. Driss tells the one's policeman that he's sick. He tells them that if whatever occurs to Philip, you then human beings could be chargeable for it because you stopped me from going to the health facility. Hearing this, the police get scared and form a convoy and take them to the health center. Both of them were very glad because that they had fooled the policeman. Seeing them, it appeared as though they had been vintage pals. Then the tale is going into flashback wherein we get to know the beginning of their friendship. Philip become trying to find a caretaker because of his contamination, and his assistant Magali was helping him in the interview. Many applicants had come for the interview, everybody confirmed pity and sympathy to him, but Philip did not see that spark in any candidate which he was searching out due to the fact his lifestyles had become boring because of the contamination, so he become looking for a person who might no longer display pity on his condition, however receive it as a project and make a friend with him. After rejecting many humans, his wish started out to quit, after which Driss comes there, without a doubt. Driss had come to Philip's house with the aim of getting rejected in that interview. He became unemployed and changed into receiving unemployment allowance from the government, and to get that allowance, it changed into essential for him to expose that he had implemented for a task, however become no longer getting one. There has been a one-of-a-kind self-assurance on Get Dressed's face. He said in clean phrases that I am no longer interested by this process, I have just come to get the shape signed. Although he seemed like a goon, he became absolutely different from the other applicants. There has been a frankness in his words. Not like the alternative applicants, Dress did not specific sympathy, however spoke directly in a groovy and formidable way. That he even attempted to flirt with Magali. Philippe tells him that I cannot signal these papers today, for this you have to come the following day at 9:00 am. After leaving from there, Driss is going to his residence. Driss's family used to live in a small house, who had been by hook or by crook dealing with to live on this poverty. He had many brothers and sisters, and Reese was the eldest of them all, so he had the duty of raising his brothers and sisters. He sees one among his brothers, Adam, who was meeting some unknown human beings. Reese feels that Adama is in the agency of wrong humans, and when he attempts to speak to Adam about it, he lies to him and leaves the residence. At night, his mom returns from work. She become a hardworking woman who labored day and night to earn money. His mother changed into very disappointed to look Dre's as he had back home after 6 months. To pacify his mom, Dre's offers her a golden egg which he had stolen from Philip's residence. However, his mother says that this egg will now not be enough to pay for the residence lease or ration. She wanted Dre's to apprehend his duty toward the family. And she had explained to Dre's oftentimes before also to present him a proportion in the family charges, but her words had no effect on Dre's, and these days she become very irritated along with her for throwing him out of her house. After being thrown out of the house, Dre's have become sad and one way or the other passed his time by roaming right here and there the entire night time, and the following morning he goes to Philip's residence to get his documents, but instead of giving him the papers, Philip's maid takes him within the residence and indicates him the whole residence. She starts telling him the entirety approximately Philip's day-by-day ordinary and says that Philip, no caretaker remains for extra than 2-3 weeks. Clearly Philip started out getting interested in her and desired to make her his personal caretaker, and at his request his maid even gave a home tour to Driss. Certainly Driss did now not want to do the activity, but while he sees his pricey room and a totally massive bathroom in conjunction with it, his thoughts changes. After this he meets Philip. Philip tells him that I've signed your documents, and when he starts leaving from there with the documents, then Philip challenges her to paintings as a caretaker for him for a month, and does so deliberately because he desired to convince Drace to soak up the task, and his plan works because Drace did now not have any region to live, so he is of the same opinion to take in the activity. However, it changed into now not going to be clean for them because Philip had no control over his body, and any longer Drace would not ought to take responsibility of each little aspect of Philip. Inside the starting she makes a whole lot of mistakes, like he does now not tie the straps after making Philip sit at the chair. He washes his hair with the foot cream meant for washing his foot. He isn't always capable of get Philip ready on time. He does now not observe the house regulations properly and behaves as though he's the owner of the residence. He sees Philip's daughter Elisa together with her boyfriend and sends them far away from there. He used to secretly stare at Magali due to the fact he liked her. Sooner or later he by accident spills warm tea water on Philip. However, whilst Philip says that he does not feel whatever, he attempts once more. He examines it by using pouring hot water on it. It was because of his childish acts that he changed into one of a kind from absolutely everyone else. He is taking out his car to take Philip out of the house, however he refuses to take him in that automobile which became designed for handicapped people. He says that I don't need to take you on this car like an animal, so he's taking out his luxury car and makes him sit on the front seat with him. Philip changed into also very happy to sit down on the front seat of his vehicle after so many days. He additionally teaches a great lesson to Philip's neighbor due to the fact the neighbor used to park his vehicle outdoor his house intentionally. Philip become very glad to look this due to the fact his neighbor deserved this. Philip turned into very fond of paintings and used to shop for expensive artwork. However, Drake makes a laugh of that crimson painting and says that this isn't a painting. However, a person has sprinkled his nose blood in this whiteboard which those human beings are promoting for locks. But Philip likes that painting very a good deal and he buys it. One day Philip meets one of his buddies. Philip's maid gave him a portrait. It was advised that Philip has employed a brand new caretaker, i.e. Driss. Philip had even located lethal weapons in Driss's bag and had seen Driss fighting with a neighbor. His friend says, "You don't know anything about Driss, but I found out that he is a criminal who has just come out of jail after serving a 6-month sentence for stealing from a jewelry shop. You should not trust just anyone like that, especially in your condition. Driss isn't even capable of taking care of you." Philip replies, "I should be treated like a person," and Driss does exactly that. "He never makes me feel like I have any shortcomings. He treats me like a friend, not like a servant. He often doesn't obey all my orders, goes against me, works as he wishes, doesn't take everything seriously, and always jokes around." What Philip said was true because Driss was also like that. There was no such thing as a joke for him. He would say anything to anyone, anywhere. Sometimes he would invite Magali to take a bath with him, which made her laugh. Other times, he would try to kiss her and get slapped. One night, Philip's health suddenly deteriorates. He was having difficulty breathing. Driss hears him on the phone, goes to his room, and sees Philip struggling. He then takes him out for a walk. Philip hadn't gone out at night for years, and he felt very good after going out. They sit in a restaurant and talk. Philip says he loved his wife very much. They met in college, fell in love, but after marriage, she fell ill and eventually passed away. Philip says, "I'm not sad because I'm handicapped. I'm sad because my wife is no longer with me. I still live in her memories." Then he asks Driss to return his golden egg, which Driss had stolen. Philip's wife had given it to him. Driss had gifted the egg to Adama, but he had given it to his mother. Driss asks his sister for help in finding it, but she says she couldn't. She also tells him that Adama was arrested for selling drugs. Driss goes to the police station to get Adama released. He asks him to leave the criminal life, but Adama doesn't listen and returns to a drug dealer named Elnora. An unknown woman who liked Philip used to write letters to him often. Philip would write back, but they had never spoken on the phone or met. Due to his condition, Philip feared that if Eleanor knew the truth, she wouldn't like him. So, he never gathered the courage to talk to her. Driss encourages Philip to give the relationship a chance and calls Eleanor from his phone to let Philip talk to her. Driss's plan works. Philip decides to meet Eleanor. She agrees. Eleanor had asked for Philip's photo. Driss tells him to send the one with the wheelchair and tell the truth, but Philip is afraid she will reject him, so he sends a different photo. Eventually, Driss paints something he thinks is artistic, but others don't find it special. At Philip's party, family and friends gather. Driss plays party music, dances, and makes everyone laugh. The house is full of joy, and Philip is happy. The day of Philip's date with Eleanor arrives. Driss prepares him with excitement and takes him to the restaurant. But as soon as Philip sits, he gets anxious. He fears Eleanor will reject him because of his physical condition. Due to this fear, he leaves before meeting her. As Eleanor exits the restaurant, Philip departs in his private jet to calm his nerves. Though Philip feels better in the air, Eleanor is afraid of heights. To comfort her, Philip tells her he sold his painting for €1,000, which makes her happy. Philip takes her paragliding to forget his pain. Driss wanted to try it too, but he was afraid of heights. Philip convinces him, and though scared at first, Driss begins to enjoy it. When they return home, Driss's brother Adama is already there. Seeing the injury on Adama's face, Driss realizes he had been in a fight. Driss hides his brother's troubles from their mother to avoid hurting her. Philip talks to Driss about his family. Driss shares that his family is complicated. His parents are actually his uncle and aunt, who adopted him as they had no children. Later, his aunt gave birth, and more siblings came. His uncle passed away, and his aunt remarried several times. Philip realizes that Driss's family needs him and asks him to return home. It was a hard decision for both of them, but Driss leaves after saying goodbye. Philip doesn't feel right without him. New caretakers are hired, but Philip doesn't get along with anyone. Driss goes home and meets his mother, who forgives him. He also warns the drug dealer to stay away from Adama and begins to look for a job. Philip starts to feel lonely. He stops talking, going out, or eating properly. He can't even write a letter to Eleanor. He stops shaving and falls into depression. His sadness is visible in his eyes, he forgets how to laugh. At night, Philip has panic attacks. When his condition worsens, even calls Driss. Driss escapes the police and comes back. He takes Philip to the seashore. The beautiful view brings a sparkle to Philip's eyes and a smile to his face. They joke and laugh while Driss shaves him and gets him ready. Driss takes Philip to a restaurant and returns the golden egg. He tells him, even though I'm leaving, I'll always be with you. Then Eleanor arrives. Driss had brought her there. She knew everything about Philip and still loved him. Seeing her, Philip becomes very happy. Now Philip has Eleanor, and Driss is content that he is not alone. At the end of the story, we're told that Philip married again and has 2 daughters. Driss is now a company owner with 3 children. This story teaches us how important laughter, jokes, and true friends are in life. Philip and Driss had completely different personalities, but they enjoyed life together, forgetting their weaknesses. Their friendship proves that true courage lies in supporting one another, no matter how tough the situation. With laughter, jokes, and genuine friendship, we can overcome any pain in life.